Hi, and welcome to Wendy Ray's Ida Recap. Well, we saw the top 9 again, and Adam Lambert was their mentor last night. And I tell you what, I loved it. I thought the whole show as a whole was really, really good. Leave it to Ryan Seacrest to start off the show with something inappropriate when he said, and I wrote it down, "My tongue isn't as talented as yours," to Adam. I thought that was very funny and it made me laugh. Now, in his defense, I am a motivational speaker by trade. This is what I do for a living. And there are times when I'm up on that stage that something pops out of my mouth that I go, get it back in, and I can't. It's too late. And I'm certain that that's what Ryan was thinking last night when he was comparing him and Adam's tongues. Okay, Crystal Bowersox was up first, and she listened to Adam's good advice, which was get rid of the acoustic guitar and use an electric guitar, which she did, and then she bedazzled it. So not Crystal, loved it. She sang Saved and did an awesome job. I absolutely loved it. She looked like she was having a blast up there. Her vocals were beautiful, you know, just like the judges. I feel like a broken record. We keep saying it over and over again, you're so good, and she really, really is. Next up was Andrew Garcia, and you know he hated having to follow Crystal. And I liked Adam's comment when he said, I'm bored. And that's what I liked about Adam's mentoring. He was honest. I mean, he told them exactly what he thought and told them how to fix it. And I think those that listened to him had better performances than those who did not. Now, Andrew listened to him, and he changed it up as Adam told him to, and did this sort of swag 40s version of Hound Dog. He even had the 40s microphone, which he was dragging around on the stage. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was very entertaining and very fun to watch. Whereas vocals, fabulous? Absolutely not. But I think the reason that that Andrew is in the place that he's in is because the judges have been giving him such weird advice, and I think that it has been unfair to him. And, you know, I've been on my Andrew soapbox before, and so I won't go on it again because I'm kind of up there alone with it. But I liked his performance, and I don't think he got enough credit last night. I'm glad that Ellen at least got 2 cents in that she said, you know, I liked it, and I thought it was a good performance. Next up was Tim Urban. God love Tim. You know, what a sweetheart. I mean, has he come leaps and bounds from when we met him in Hollywood? I mean, wow, he has done an excellent job, and I'm really proud of him. But last night, as I watched him sing I Can't Help Falling in Love, I wrote down in my notes, I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure if I like it or I don't like it. It was really kind of weird to me, and I couldn't put my finger on why. And then the judges all thought it was so fabulous that this morning I went back and rewatched Tim's performance again to go, did I miss something? And I didn't. I still felt the same way. And I think the reason I felt this way is because the first half of the song, it almost seemed like he spoke it instead of sang it, which I thought was a little weird for me. Was it a good performance? No. It was a nice performance. And I think that he did a good job, but I don't think he did as good of a job as the judges gave him credit for. Next up was Lee DeWise, who sang one of my very favorite Elvis songs, A Little Less Conversation. Love that song. I think it is a fun song. I liked how Adam told him, you know, there's nothing going on here. And I think Lee took his advice, and he really shined last night. I saw some expression in his face. I saw him smile, which is not Lee. And so that was a huge step for him to do. It looked like he was having fun up there, and I was really happy about that. I am a little bit irritated with Kara telling him to be more playful. Really? You know, the judges have been preaching, find out who you are and stick with that. Okay, so don't tell Lee to be something he's not. Lee is not a playful guy, so he's not going to get up there and be playful on stage. So don't ask him to do that. It was completely unfair, and I'm glad that Simon called Kara out on that. Next up was Aaron Kelly, who sang, easy for me to say, sang Blue Suede Shoes. And, you know, you got to love Aaron. I think this performance was far better than last week. I just don't know if it was enough for him. You know, he's really young. I mean, he's 16 years old, and I think with a little bit more experience, he would have probably done a better job. I'm not sure it was the right song for him, and I think he didn't do a horrible job with it. I just don't know that it was enough compared to some of the other performances last night, and I think the judges agreed with that as well. Siobhan Magnus was up next, and let's first talk about her outfit. I thought it was really cool. Very funky. I think it was good for her. I love the shoes and the lightning bolts. I hated her hair, but the rest of it looked awesome. I really liked it a lot, and I really liked her performance last night. I think her vocals were fabulous. I think she held back when she needed to. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I'm a little bit irritated that the judges don't give her enough credit. The girl is trying to do what you tell her to do, and then you dog her for it, so stop. It's just making me nuts. It's kind of like Andrew. I think Siobhan is in a situation right now that she's in a lose-lose place, and so she just needs to keep doing what she wants to do and stop listening to them. And she actually said that when she told Simon, it's not necessary to be labeled. And you go, girl, because I actually think Simon might have taken that to heart, because I actually saw him nod a little bit, so he might have agreed with that. Who knows? Next up was Michael Lynch, and he had a lot to prove from being saved last week. Now, he sang in the ghetto, and I'm going to tell you something. Adam told him to tell the story and be dramatic, which I absolutely agree with. And I don't think Michael did that. Michael came out there, and he sang it very well with a beautiful voice, but I didn't hear the story. I didn't feel the connection to the song. And that's what that kind of song, you really need to feel the emotion of it. And there was nothing. And I actually think, had he not been saved last week, the judges would have brought that to his attention. However, I think the judges just were praising Mike because they wanted to prove that their decision to save him last week was the right one. But, you know, I'm having a real hard time with Michael right now. I was a huge fan, and then last week I completely disconnected with him. And so this week I was trying to judge him fairly because I don't know if I'm a Michael fan anymore or not, and I'm still trying to figure that out. So we'll have to wait. If he makes it through this week, we'll have to wait to see in future weeks what happens there. Next up was Katie Stevens. She sang Baby, What You Want Me to Do, and she did it so well. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was fun and cute and perfect for her. I thought she did a great job, and I am so glad that Simon didn't have an opportunity to tell her what he thought, because I think that his opinion was going to be completely wrong. So that was really good for Katie. They closed the show with Casey James, who sang Lottie Miss Claudie. Did I say it right? I have no idea. I've never even heard that song before, which is surprising to me because my mother is one of those crazy Elvis fanatics. She's got Elvis stuff all over her house. She has an Elvis phone and Elvis records and Elvis everything. Everywhere is Elvis. So I'm surprised I had never heard that song, but I loved it. I loved Casey's version of it. He sounded awesome. He looked great. Now, Randy and Ellen said that it wasn't exciting. True, it wasn't exciting, but I don't think Casey needs to be exciting. I think Casey is doing exactly what he needs to do to stay in the competition at this point. Now, he may need to step it up a little bit when it gets down to, you know, the last 5, 4, 3. But right now, I think Casey is doing what he needs to do to stay in that competition, and he needs to keep going on that path until it gets closer to the end. So who were my favorites? Well, Crystal, Lee, and Siobhan. Those were my 3 favorites, but I think for the most part, they all did a pretty good job. There wasn't really, to me, any standout horrible performances, which I think is great. Who do I think is going home? You know, this one was actually a harder week for me to decide than last week. Last week seemed really kind of cut and dry to me. This week, I think definitely in the bottom 2 will be Andrew and Aaron, and I think those will probably be, based on their performances, the 2 that are going home. So who will take that 3rd spot or possibly 4th spot? You know, I have gone back and forth between Katie Stevens and Siobhan Magnus. Now, as you know, I loved both of their performances, and I don't think they should be there. So I'm basing this completely on kind of a gut feeling and what I think that America is thinking, because obviously my opinion only counts for one. So anyway, we will find out tonight exactly what happens and see who those 2 are that are going home. I will see you back here tomorrow as we discuss the results and who went home and if we agreed with it or not. Until then, hugs and make it a great day. Bye-bye.